I was afraid to start YouTube for 7 years. I was afraid to start color approaching for 5 years. I was afraid to start SMMA for 3 years. And even once I started doing the thing, I kept asking myself, why am I doing this? What even is the point? And that's exactly how I'm feeling about my most recent venture, about the market agency. But look, we're going to talk about it later in the video. Every year on the dot, around October when my birthday is, I had some sort of breakdown, and which caused me to take some sort of action. The pain of staying the same clearly becomes greater when the pain of change. It causes me to change in an instant. Okay, Eric, slow down. Definitely not that fast. Maybe a few months of reflection, staying up way too late, just thinking about it, not being able to sleep, then procrastinating, and then getting really pissed off at myself that I can't simply take steps forward, you know? Basically feeling paralyzed for a little bit. And then after working myself up to this point, I decided to change. This probably comes in sort of like heavy accountability, which I'll talk about later. Called the moral of the story was whatever I was afraid of doing, I basically had to do. In a sense, I used fear as a compass to guide me in the direction which I want to go. We're wired to move forward, to grow and evolve. I've got this funny example here. I see this kind of like self-evolution, if that's what you want to call it, as peeling away layers of an onion. You want to kind of unpeel it layer by layer to go deeper into where you actually want to go. The current layer you want to unpeel is the thing which the back of your head you kind of keep asking yourself, keep telling yourself like, oh, I really need to do this, I really need to do that. For me, 3 years ago, it was like, okay, cool, I need to start a YouTube channel. I thought about it for just so long, I spoke about it with so many people, but I just clearly just petrified, just couldn't do it. And then once that subsided, I'm like, okay, cool, clearly I can do that. Next thing for me was day game. Like, one of the things I just wanted to do is just to be able to have just the social skills instead of using dating apps. I just don't like dating apps. Just have the social skills, just to go up to somebody just sober in daylight, walking past them maybe, and then this cute girl you're walking past can just have the ability just to say hi, you know, and do that. But I simply couldn't do it. I was in Edinburgh at the time, and so I'm like, okay, cool, I'm gonna do it in Edinburgh. And you know, you're walking past people, like you walk past them, smile or whatever, and but I simply just couldn't actually do the thing, and that really pissed me off, you know. At some point there's this kind of like wall of fear, just simply couldn't get through. Okay, cool, clearly something has to change. So when I came back down south, I ended up finding this coach who, to be honest, is an absolute G. Immense amount of respect for him. This guy called Eddie, and then he provided me with the accountability I just needed for me to actually go from A to B. In my previous video, right here somewhere, I'll go into more detail on this exact topic, so you should check it out after you finish watching this one. Okay, let's get back on track. And then this year's breakdown was, well, let's not call it a breakdown, let's call it a breakthrough. Here you go, just sounds a bit better. This year's breakthrough was starting some sort of marketing agency. After this breakthrough, I decided to get some sort of heavy accountability by investing in a course which I will talk about in a later date. And yeah, with this, like, I just had so much anxiety. Like, my main source of like outreach is cold calls. I just absolutely petrified of cold calling. In my head, cold calling wasn't that hard. Like, you know, I've done day game, that clearly was more difficult, you know. But as it turns out, I was petrified of cold calling, which is fair enough. I used to go to sleep like just really anxious, and then waking up really anxious before doing the cold calling session. These kind of growth pains, this kind of bit of like anxiety, whatever you want to call it, has definitely improved. Then after starting with cold calls and getting my first meeting, I didn't even know how to set up a video meeting, like a Zoom meeting on the calendar. I didn't know what to say in it, or a quick introduction meeting or whatever. Like, I was just, again, that invoked such a like sense of just anxiety in me, which is quite impressive looking back at it. And again, I didn't know how to sell. To be honest, even now, like, I've got one client, but even now, like, I haven't got a clue how to sell. I'm just kind of just going with the flow and just seeing what happens, really. I didn't know how to onboard, like, I didn't know how to set up like Google Drive for the client just to drop all their creatives, like all the videos of their work and stuff. Like, there's a lot of stuff I just don't know. But we're learning, that's the main thing. All these things I have since figured out. But the point is, there's so many little things which seem small just by themselves, but when you put them together, it gets very overwhelming. At least that's how I feel about it. So it brings me to one of my first points, just in time learning versus just in case learning. The kind of like person I am, I just procrastinate a lot. I think about things, I overanalyze things. It was just in case learning. I'm learning so many things. I'm reading books just in case something happens, which in reality is just mental masturbation. It's just procrastinating, really. Watching many YouTube videos about starting YouTube, but mate, after the first 2, maybe 3 videos, you've learned enough. Like there's nothing else was gonna magically cause you to have an epiphany. Just get a fucking camera, just point it at yourself, press record, but like, yo, this is me, that I want to start a YouTube channel. I was afraid to start a YouTube channel, so here's my first video. This is stuff I'm interested in, so this I might talk about, but we'll see, you know. That's all it takes. And in my current, I guess, unpeeling of this onion of moving in the right direction, I don't know what's going on, but in this little layer of onion which I'm currently at, which is for me to start this marketing thing. So I want to practice just in time learning. So, okay, cool. For me to start cold calling, I need to have some sort of script. Okay, cool. I'm gonna create some sort of script. Okay, let me start calling. I will adapt. And then afterwards, after making, let's say, I don't know, probably after making 20, 30 cold calls, I had my first meeting. Okay, at this point, I am going to learn how to behave on a sales meeting. It's not really sales meeting, it's more of an introduction meeting, just to showcase what I can do. At that point, okay, cool. Like, let's say after doing a couple of those, you realize that what you need to change, and eventually you get a client. Let's say you sign them up on a free trial, which is what happened with me. And now the next question is how do the onboarding, basically just how I smoothly set everything up on the back end so I can start running ads on behalf of my clients. So the next step for me is, how do I actually do Facebook ads? Because I watched a couple of videos, I don't really know. After getting the clients, you're quickly forced to learn to run ads. In my case, after learning to run ads, I quickly found out that the ads I made were not very good. Basically, I ran them for 3 days. I got 0 leads. I spent the whole of the next weekend just learning, just consuming YouTube videos, you know, YouTuber University and that, and then figuring out what went wrong. We'll go over all of this in more depth in my upcoming series. I guess I'll make it into a series, and so you got that to look forward to. The moral of the story is just-in-time learning versus just-in-case learning. You simply don't retain any information when you're learning just in case. I watched so many videos about Facebook ads before I actually signing my first clients for the past year, but I didn't really absorb any of this information until I was in a position where I was forced to make it work. This comes to the next point. Stick to the thing, just be in the game long enough to let compounding take place. Just like many of us, I tend to quit things when they get hard and then chase the next shiny thing. And then once I realize that is hard, I quit that as well to chase the next thing and the next thing. You get the point. Let me take you on a journey of somebody who discovers this SMMA thing. You watch a few videos from the big guys in the space, and you're sold this picture, this dream. Only work 4 hours a day and get paid 10K per month. That I can get a client and then get somebody, let's say in Colombia, who is really good at running ads to fulfill it for me. So everything I need to do, I just need to sell my service to somebody in America, let's say an e-com client, and then I'll get that because I know absolutely nothing about ads, and somehow they'll pay me 10 grand a month. And then afterwards, I'm going to be able to get a media buyer from Colombia who's going to do all the service delivery, but in return only charge, let's say, $1,000. So I am profiting 9 grand here. You're like, oh, okay, that's easy enough. That's not that difficult. Like, how difficult could it be? No, I can easily do that, you know? And then you do it. Start the thing, you buy Iman's course, you know, educate or whatever you want to call it. And then you realize how difficult it actually is. And then you formed into informed pessimism. You're there in the depths of things. You kind of go in afraid days, like, what am I doing? And at this point, some people quit, they realize, okay, cool, this is just not for me. And they go on to chase the new shiny thing. Of course, like, everyone's different. But some people, okay, this is necessary because they realize, like, what actually goes into it, and then they don't want to do it. Which is again good to some sort of degree. But after doing this thing of going from hopping from one thing to another to another to another, you realize it's like whatever you're gonna do is gonna be hard. It doesn't matter what. You need to learn to stick to the thing for you to let compounding take place. Anything you do, anything you want to learn, you will suck at the start. You get through this forest and you see the light at the end of it, like the sunrise or there's light at the end of the tunnel. Whatever metaphor you want to use, and then you realize, okay, cool, like this is possible. And then after failing hundreds of thousands of times, you sign your first client, and you sign a client, and now you realize, like, well, I don't actually know how to deliver services. I don't know how to use Go High Level. I don't know how to use Facebook ads, to be honest, but we're figuring it out. So yeah, This is where I'm at the moment. With YouTube is you watch your videos like, oh, how to be a millionaire for YouTube, blah 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 blah. Then you actually start a YouTube channel. You make a couple of videos and nobody watches them. You're here in the depths of informed pessimism. You realize how difficult this is actually going to be. But over time, you stick to the thing. You keep making the videos. You keep iterating. 1% better every video. You know, nothing big. Just a little bit better. Just putting one foot forward in front of the other. And over time, your videos start becoming good. You become a bit more confident in front of the camera. It's not that difficult for you. You know, it just becomes easier. And yeah, at that point you become competent, and you reach this form of informed optimism. And now you've seen results, because I'm slowly heading that way with YouTube. Give me a few more years and then yeah, we'll see. This leads me to the next point. Whatever you want to do, whether it's YouTube, whether you want to get better social skills, whether you want to get better jiu-jitsu, salsa, like all of it applies. The start of it is gonna suck, you know? You won't know what you're doing. You will suck. This initial period of suck will be anywhere between 3 months, maybe 6 months, maybe even up to 2 years. But these are the things, these are the moments you will back at in the future with immense gratitude. Your future self will thank your current self later because you started doing the thing now. Don't be in a position in the future where you wish you would have started something sooner, you know? You want to stick in the game for long enough like compound to take place for you to go through that stage, get to informed optimism, realize what you actually need to do, and you just take a step forward, just a step at a time, and eventually you figure it out. I want to make more of these kind of journey type of videos just to document the initial struggle and all the ups and downs so we can look back at it together in the future. And yeah, coming back to it, after those 3 to 6 months, you have an informed idea of what it actually takes to get pretty good at the thing. And then at that point you can reflect and be like, okay, cool, like I've tried it, I did this thing I want to do, like I don't want to do it anymore, which is fair enough. You gave it your fucking best go. The voice you have at the back of your head will be silenced for this thing you're doing. And then at that point, the next challenge you gotta take, you're not starting from zero. You develop so many skills. This kind of like product, which is you, the skills you develop over time, is moving. The goal of this, okay, it's not the outcome, it's not the money, it's not the lifestyle, but whatever the goal for you is, it's the skills you learn in the process, it's the person you're becoming in the process of achieving that goal, and that is the goal itself, you know? Don't be discouraged when you start learning the thing and you're not good at it, because quite frankly, whatever you do at the start, you're not going to be good at it. You're going to have breakdowns. I've had a lot of breakdowns. I can't really count them on both my hands. There was a few. Yeah, I'm like, why am I doing this, you know? And over time, all of that, nothing works. Like nothing works until everything kind of connects together, and bam, everything works at the same time, you know? So yeah, so whenever you're starting something new and you feel discouraged, but you really shit to think, bro, like those are humble beginnings, and that's the thing you got to look back at and realize, damn, like that was something. That was the infancy. It was the beginning stage of you starting YouTube, of you getting better, tackling your social anxiety by being able to say hi to strangers. The beginning stage of like the rejections of cold calls or whatever else, bro. As I'm editing this, I really do need to take my own advice, and this is where I'm at the moment, you know? Thank you for watching. Let me know if any of this even resonates with you, even a little bit. Let me know what you think. And yeah, next videos you're going to probably see of me is this little mini series I want to create. I'm about a month in. I've got 2 more months. So yeah, let's see how it all goes. Okay, bye bye.